All right, here we are back with this QS 6000 Gotcha Ichinomiya Open. We're now into our round one heat number 6. Just about 1 minute into this one. Out in the water we have Ryota Matsushita in green. In blue we have Timothy Bisso. In red we have Ryo Waida. And in white we have Yuji Nishi. And in this great looking palm tree pattern shirt is my buddy Matthew Pitts.
Benny! We're back.
Welcome back, mister.
Good on you, Benny.
You're back. I was here.
No, come on. No, up and riding. Look at this, Benny. It's the replay.
That's a way to break your nose off. And here we go. Timothy Bisso taking a look. So, while you stepped out that last heat, we had some conditions getting a little unpredictable, I would have to say.
Yeah, well, they've been pretty unpredictable all morning, but it looks really glassy out there. And there's still some decent-sized sets. I've been looking around, and there's a lot of free surfers in the next bay getting some nice waves. So the whole of the Chiba coastline lighting up this morning. And speaking of lighting up, the surfing this morning has been incredibly good. We've had some exciting barrel rides. We've had some big high-flying backside maneuvers going down. And in the water, we've got paddling up and riding surfer in red. This is Ryo Waida from Indonesia, frontside snap. Yeah, just setting up the inside here. Looking to shut this one down with the front side snap again. And kicks out. So the surfer in red, first of the surfers from Indonesia here this morning here at Shida Ichinomiya, Benny Way's local spot. Tell us more about it, Benny.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, this place is usually really turns on with some south swell. What we're seeing here is kind of some leftover east wind swell, which gives us a nice variety of the lefts and rights, which kind of makes an equal field for everyone. Whereas, let's check this one. Ryo Waida, you see him drops down, gets that almost semi layback, high fives the lip coming out of that one, and then we've got this kind of little fat zone that he works through. Make sure he gets that nice finish on that one. So you got a 4.0 for that. Not too bad.
Yeah, he's surfer in white. This is Yuji Nishi, really impressive young Japanese surfer from the Shikoku. Now, this was the guy I was thinking of earlier in the day who actually went down. There was another surfer with the same name of Nishi, and I got him mixed up with Yuji here in this heat. And we've got green up and riding. This is Ryo Matsushita, also a very exciting young Japanese surfer. Now, do you know where Ryota is from, Ben?
Ryota's from Shonan, and he is a really hard-working surfer. He's out there every day practicing, and he was the winner of one of our QS Shonan Opens a couple years ago.
Okay. So, yeah, for those of you who don't, maybe just tuning in that this morning, Benny Way lives here just around the corner from this beach. So Ben knows all about this area, and he's often up and down the coast down to Shonan. We're just seeing the replay here of Yuji Nishi in white busting the fins and then going for it and coming unstuck. So that's Yuji Nishi. So yeah, so Benny Way lives here in Japan. He's been here for about 10 years now. Replay of green, just coming off the bottom here. Nice front side snap there. Just carving back, looking for the inside to show some opportunity, but unfortunately not much on offer here, but plenty of energy, enthusiasm from the surfer in green, Ryota Matsushita. So yeah, Ben travels with the WSL to all the events around Japan. He gets to see all of these guys, so he's going to have some incredible insight into the background of a lot of the Japanese competitors in this event, and it's fantastic. I have Benny Way here on the webcast.
It's great to have you, man. So Pitsy was actually, I took over Pitsy's job when he went back to Oz. And now we've got both of us here. This is just too good.
Full circle. What the hell, Tool? Anyway, we've got Ryo Waida, the surfer from Indonesia, with a 4.0 for his first wave. Timothy Bisso, incredibly exciting surfer from France. Now we've got a little bit of controversy here. Red obviously using his priority here. Front side snap. Clean cut back. Similar to the wave that we saw previously ridden was a 4, but this is a better one. Bang! Big frontside snap. Surfer in red from Indonesia with those black flames flying off the nose of his surfboard there. Benny Way, did you like that one?
I liked it a lot. And, yeah, we've seen the size decrease a bit since the morning. Now we have that tide going out, I think, and it's going to add a little bit more of a performance element, hopefully. and wind's behaving. Things have cooled down a little bit. We had that sun just blazing in the morning. Now we got this kind of nice, soft overcast. So let's see. He ducks out, wants to avoid an interference there. I don't think there should be any problem there. I think he ducked out in time. Didn't really get in the way of red. We'll see what happens here, but a nice ending on that one for Rio Waida.
Yeah, that last score was really strong. I think that's going to go, probably mid to high sevens. I don't know, maybe I'm being a little generous, but I was very impressed with the way he surfed that. And he's built on his first wave, so that building momentum through the heats is a great way to go. And Rio from Indonesia is certainly doing that here in heat number 6, round 1. Today we look like we're going to run all the way through to heat 22, 25-minute heats. And we're hoping we're going to see this swell hang around for a few more days to make the most of things. Green palling his ass off to get in this one, up and riding Ryota Matsushita, and just getting a little bit too excited there. Benny Way, surfer in green.
Yeah, he got a little bit spiced up there. He might be feeling the heat after seeing that last wave for Rio, and we're going to see why he's getting spiced up when that score comes in for that second wave. Rio is definitely going to get rewarded. 6.17. So that does, with Ryota in second place, that makes puts a little bit more of a job in front of Ryota.
Yeah, well, the surfer in red really raising the bar now in this heat. We've got just under 18 minutes, plenty of time, but a comfortable position to be sitting in with a 6 and a 4.0 for the surfer in red. Now, Timmy Bissot from France, he was a standout here in this event last year. He's a really exciting goofy footer. And so we're expecting big things in this heat from Timmy Bissot. We've got Yuji Nishi, young surfer from Japan, who was a standout in the World Junior Games ISA down in Hyuga last year.
Yeah, Yuji's also the team coach, the team captain of Team Japan.
Oh, well, there you go.
So he's got he's having to put it on display, and he's got his team riders out there watching him in action. He's got to set an example. So he's got a little bit of work to do here. He's got a 2.73, still early on in the heat. He's an amazing, talented surfer, and if he's given the right conditions, the right wave, he can definitely make up those scores.
And we've also got in this heat Ryota, surfer in green from Shonan. And as Ben said, a former event winner here in Japan. Not this event, but a Shonan event. And he's an incredible, exciting, goofy footer surfer. And the junior Japanese team, they are not the Blue Samurai, because that's the soccer team, of course. But do they have a little catchphrase name for the Japanese junior surf team?
I think it's your chance to make that right
All
now.
righty.
You can create it.
All right, well, maybe we'll get a little bit of help from Todd Klein later this morning to make up a catchphrase name for the Japanese junior surfing team currently in the water. The team captain, my captain, Yuji Nishi in white, who's currently sitting in 4th place. Now up and riding, Timmy Bissot.
All right, Bissot jamming the lip on that one. A lot of spray. Drifts the fins on that second one. Looking lively. Timothy Bissot is in 3rd place, hitting a 2.94. He may be putting a little bit of heat on Ryota Matsushita. That one, we will see. His requirement was 2.94. And 2-3 nice solid turns on that one for Tim Bissot. So here he goes.
So here's the replay off the bottom. Bangs that lip. A medium-sized wave here. Wow, plenty of speed and energy here from Timmy Bissot. 2 turns, but pretty dynamic turns, Benny Way.
Yeah, a lot of commitment, pushing as much as he could through a lot of spray. The judges always like that. And 2.94 is a pretty small requirement, considering that our highest score in the heat right now is a 6.17. So let's see what he gets, and let's see how that affects the situation.
So here we go, surfer up and riding. It's the captain through the lip, and that wave just shutting down on him a little quickly there. But Yuji Nishi, as you saw from that turn, mate, this kid has got some tricks up his sleeve and a lot of power and athleticism.
He did an amazing job of keeping that nose out of the flats on that one. I think anyone else would have plugged the nose on that entry right there.
Yep, he's the only guy in this event that would have pulled that turn, and he did. Good on you. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it was great surfing. Up and riding, we got Timmy Bissot on his backhand, hard and high off the top, and just pulling out the back of that surfer in red from Indonesia. We're just catching the end of this wave. So, wow. Dynamic surfing again from the Indonesian surfer. So it's shaping up to be a pretty exciting finish, which we've seen all through the morning in these heats, Benny Way. These 6,000 events with the level of surfers in this event makes for pretty exciting times for us commentators.
I have a great time just watching. Of course, some of those waves this morning I would have loved to be on myself, but it's always a lot of fun to watch when you see guys of this caliber throwing it together and showing us what's actually possible in these conditions. And so, as I mentioned earlier, Timothy Bisco's previous wave, that's not the one we're watching right now. That was his last wave. The wave before that, he was needing a 2.94. He's going to get a score well above that. So he's going to push Ryota down into third, it does seem, as soon as we get that score. And Rio Waida hitting that thing nice and vertical. And we're going to see those scores come in and see how that affects the situation.
Yeah, the Indonesian surfer, very impressive. Rio Waida is. I haven't seen him before. The first time I've seen him surfing, and made incredible stuff. Rio is really pulling off a lot of Rios this morning, isn't he?
Vertical Rio.
Yeah. No, he's surfing incredibly. And anyway, we're having a lot of fun here this morning. It's an awesome day here. Yesterday was freezing cold, howling wind, and now it's cleaned up. The sun's come out, and we've got some great surfing for the opening day of this Gotcha-sponsored 6,000 WSL qualifying series event. Timmy Bisso on your camera right now. Timmy with a 5.9, a 2.37, and currently second in line as far as priority goes. But we've got Yuji Nishi, surfer in white with priority, and he needs to start to get busy here because his scores are lagging. But we all know that the captain of the junior surfing team has got plenty of potential to cause an upset here in this heat in the water, which is heat number 6, round number 1.
Yeah, after those last couple of scores for Timothy Bisco, Yuji Nishi's requirement more than doubled, so putting a little bit more heat on him, on our captain there. But Timothy Bisso, that left with a nice two-banger, was a 5.93. That jumped him into second, pushed Ryota down into third. And so here's Ryota Matsushita getting up and under that one. Not great wave selection on that one. He's needing a 6.73. Yuji Nishi now in fourth, needing a 6.96. A lot of time, though. Still almost half a heat left.
Yeah, so the Indonesian surfer up and riding, Rio Waida. And just starting to go for some bigger moves now that he's locked in that 6 and the 4-point ride. Pretty disappointing so far from Ryota Matsushita because he usually slices these waves like a knife, and we see him coming unstuck again. Just seems to be out of rhythm and probably a little bit frustrated and flustered as to what tactic he's now going to take because he's got a bit of work to do, 11 minutes to go. He's in third place. He needs a 6.73. So probably hearing that score from the judges has put a bit of pressure on him, and he continues to come unstuck on uncharacteristically because he's usually very sharp and his timing is usually spot right on. And here we go. Timmy Bisso taking a look, but no ride. Now, Benny, I mentioned to Todd earlier, we've seen a lot of falls and a lot of mistakes from some of the surfers. I threw it out there and said, well, because of the sand getting churned up yesterday with all that wind and the water being cold, it's probably a little slippery out there. And you being a local surfing here every day, I'm sure you've got your grip sort of wide. And what have you been using out here?
That is a great point because the day before our trials, was it Saturday? We had all last week from that previous storm. We'd had a ton of seaweed and kelp just sitting around the inside in the shore break. And so we had just kelp pooled up, dead kelp that's probably pulled up from Shonan and all over the place, or from up from Kamogawa and down below us where there's a lot of kelp beds. But there was so much kelp on the inside getting tangled up in people's leashes and everything else. And I did notice that my wax was a lot slippier. I think it was like kelpy slime out there. So we could have a little bit of that.
Kelpy slime?
We could have a little kelpy slime left over out there, which...
Wow.
I don't care how sticky your wax is. When you get that little goo layer on there, that's going to make you slip up a little bit.
Wow. So maybe Benny's going to give us a bit of his local insight onto what wax that these guys should actually be using. But I noticed a couple of uncharacteristic uncharacteristic slip-offs and mistakes going on this morning, which sort of came to the assumption that maybe there is a reason for this kelpie slime getting around out there, causing a few problems for some of the surfers out here. But it'll be interesting to get a bit of insight from some of the competitors when they come in later and ask them if that's actually a factor or whether we're just not letting the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun story as well, but
no, but it is the truth.
There may be a little bit of goo left out there.
Yeah, so
I know there was on Saturday.
So there you go, Benny Way, local surfer, giving us some great insight onto what's going on with the conditions, because cold water does affect you. Here, up and riding, Timmy Bisso. Unaffected on this ride, front side snap, bang, hits the lip to finish, and that'll be another solid little ride for Timmy Bisso, looking to improve on a 3.8. Up and riding, White, Yuji Nishi, the Japanese junior team leader, gets all out of shape, recovers, hits the lip, and finishes off strong. How did you see those two waves, and who do you think got the better of that exchange?
I liked Tim Bisso's kind of last-minute decision to kind of keep it conservative and make sure he got a good finish on that one. He had a section where he could have easily gone for like a frontside reverse or an air section. It seemed like at the very last second, mid-bottom turn, he was like, we'll just keep it under control, make sure we get a nice score. And just after that, Yuji Nishi throwing it all out and kind of contorting into a little Larry Bertelman recovery right there and finishing one off. It was one of his better waves, I think. He's still got some low scores, 2.77, 2.33. I'm hoping that will be one of his better scores of this heat.
Yeah, good on you, Ben. And did you just notice there, as you were just explaining those last two rides, tearing across the screen here, surfing green with incredible bottom turn, backside snap combination, and that was Ryota Matsushita looking a little bit more like we're used to seeing him, really firing up on that last wave. So hopefully he'll post a good score and we'll be in for real fireworks for the last 7 minutes of this heat, like we've seen in most of the heats this morning. None of the surfers are disappointing. Here's Timmy Bisso, as Benny was saying. Nice frontside slap now. Let's watch this last move. And Benny said he held back a little bit with the air reverse, where he went for the floater jam. Now, let's see this front side getting all out of shape. Maybe just a little slow to recover. And then shutting that one down with a nice front side power hack to finish. And here's green. Look at that bottom turn up into the lip. So he got a combination of backside snaps, and it's that bottom turn which the judges are really starting to recognize and give points for. And there's Yuji Nishi just coming unstuck.
That might have been a little bit of kelp slime there on Yuji Nishi there. But yeah, his previous wave, where he kind of got out of control, there's also that kind of going for it factor that I really like. And here goes Rio Waida, hitting it nice and straight up. Ryota Matsushita, that last backside hit, was just over vertical, and hitting the 12:30 mark at 8:30 in the morning, 9:30.
So getting a little ahead of himself. Is that what no, I'm just kidding. But there he goes again, flashing across your screens. Benny Way! Yeah.
Yep, stick to pancakes. It's not lunchtime yet. Okay, so here we go. Timothy Bisso is going to get rewarded for that smart decision to keep it semi-conservative. And it looks like he might jump into the lead when his score comes in.
Well, I reckon Rio might, after just seeing that replay, he might improve on that 4.17. So it's going to be a real seesaw battle to the end here. Timmy Bisso posting a solid 6.5, moving him into first. Red with a wave to come in. White and greens with scores to come in as well. So currently Timmy Bisso just out in front, but that red score is going to come in. Red looking for a 4.17. I think he's going to get back up into first, or pretty damn close to it anyway. Oh, he needs a 6.27. Sorry, I stand corrected, and I don't think that'll be a 6.27. So I reckon it'll be Timmy Bisso, Rio from Indonesia holding on to that second place, but surfer in green and white starting to sneak back into the equation here. Yuji Nishi now needing a 5.42 in the third place with second priority. His last wave was a 4.93, which has helped his position. So we're just waiting on a score from Ryota. He got a 3.20. So he now needs a 7.14 in fourth place. So still a fairly tall order from Ryota, but it looks like he's starting to get his mojo back. Just as Austin thought he'd lost his mojo, but he had it all the time, and that's what Ryota's got to keep telling himself.
I love. Speaking of mojo, Ryota's dad is a legend. Ryota's dad is
Master
Shonan Kuginuma Honki is a darn cool individual. So if anyone's got mojo, Ryota's got mojo in his DNA because his dad's so darn cool. Right now, 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So Timothy Bissell put a little bit of safety in the game after that 6.50, leaving some pretty tall requirements for these guys. Yuji Nishi, 5.42. That's a little bit higher than his top score at the moment. Very obtainable, but Ryota needing a 7.14. I was going to mention, Ryota, if he's given the right left, he's got a mean frontside air reverse. So if he could combo that up and ended up with a nice big air reverse, he could probably get that score, but it's going to take a really good wave selection.
Yeah, well, I think you'll probably find that we'll see him throw caution to the wind in this last 4 minutes because he's got nothing to lose. But this kid is incredibly dynamic and exciting, and if he just puts it all together, he's very capable of posting that 7. Here he is, up and riding. A smaller wave, goes for the air, and just frustrating there, not quite a big enough canvas to work for that young surfer in green, Ryota from Shonan.
I like that. Nice no-grab backside ollie attempt. Pretty Fletcher-esque right there, but the lip didn't have enough punch to push him out back into the wave, and he went out the back. So he is still sitting in the same place, fourth, needing a 7.14. And we're down to just over 3 minutes. So white and green feeling a little bit more pressure with the limited time.
So, Benny, with the swell, you said we've got a little bit of a north to east wind swell remnants from yesterday. You said the south swells, are they more walled or a little bit better shaped than these east swell that we're seeing?
You're pretending you've never been here. Look at you go. In front of the jetties, usually on the right-hand side, that's where we usually get the sand built up the most. And when we get some nice south swell, we get those rights just ripping across from that jetty. That's where you usually have the best chance to get a barrel. But now all the sand is kind of just all over the place. I don't think it's really settled in one spot just yet. So with the size that we've seen this morning, and if we see some considerable swell throughout the day, we'll probably be dealing with new sandbars tomorrow. We got a lot of fresh sand that's kind of shifting around.
Wow, well, that'd be very exciting if we could see a couple of different little peaks pop up during the week. And I noticed last year they had the bulldozer out shaping the bank for us. Did we see any of that this year?
You know what? Nature did it for them. It took the beach and put it right out in the ocean. So we were pretty lucky that if you look out out on the beach, the tetras that are usually sticking way out are pretty covered. We've had a ton of sand almost covering up the tetrapods this season. And with those last couple storms, it took that sand and just shoved it out into the lineup. So,
wow. So that's great. Nature working in, what's the word I'm looking for?
Ecodozer?
Ecuadozer, that's the one, with the event here. So things shaping up here nicely, and shaping up nicely for the surfer in red. This is Rio Wader from Indonesia. Carving cutback, up into the lip, and getting that hang time. Which is a nice lasting impression for those judges. They see that blackboard and the flames and the guy in red and they go, wait a second, I remember that guy. He's been ripping this whole heat. So what are we going to give him? He needs a 4.17 or better to improve his position currently in second with 1 minute on the clock. Benny Way.
All right, here we go. Ryota putting that rail to work there. Climbs up on that little soft section. He knows there's only a minute left, so he's going to get back out there. That wasn't going to be the one that's going to give him the 7.14. But 45 seconds, here's that replay. So Rio Waida jamming into this one. Sticks that. Drifts the fins a little bit. Gets the rail in action. Nice finish on that one. And so looking really assertive. This one didn't work out. It was a little bit fat. You see him just try to do this little foam ball climb, and there's just not really anything left to it. 25 seconds remaining. Rio Waida got a 4.90. So still in second, but putting a little bit more space between him and the other competitors. Now we're down to the 10-second mark. And white and green, third and fourth. Not fun to see the guys in the jerseys for the next heat when you know you still need a score.
Yeah, well, that's the end of that heat. Very exciting stuff. Looks like Rio just consolidated his position into second, and Yuji Nishii and Ryota Matsushita just falling short. That was heat number 6, round 1, and it looks like we'll be crossing to a commercial. See you soon.